We're making some shit work. Today's video is from Trap University. I'm gonna show you right now. So I found this interesting because I do watch some of his videos, and it's been a little bit. So let me actually subscribe. Shout out to you, Trap University. And this video today is about passport. Hold on, I can't even fucking speak. Excuse me, I can't even speak. The Passport Bro Death Trap. Before we get into it, leave your comments on what do you think. You think this video is going to touch upon the message that's sent out to a lot of passport bros and how many people are actually passing away from this? Because it's a lot of people. Like I follow DC Born Rob. Shout out to DC Born Rob and Razor Rays, and they themselves help us stay in touch with some of the news across seas. So in Colombia, there's a lot of people that do, like foreigners, whether they're American, from Canada, etc., that do end up passing away from foul play. So let us see what's going on here, and let's get straight into it.
So we all know what a passport bro is, right? A man who travels to a poor country to meet women and kind of take advantage of a situation. You follow me? Do you understand what happens to some of these men? From being drugged on dates in Colombia by women they met on dating apps, to being kidnapped, held for ransom, and then thrown off a cliff. In 2024, 3 Americans were found dead within 4 days, all in Medellin. One guy was found in a hotel room after he was seen entering the room with a woman who left hours later. Another guy just fell off the balcony of his Airbnb and he totally wasn't pushed probably. And another guy was renting a house for a month when the owners just mysteriously found his body inside. And the year before that, in 2023, there were 32 foreigners that met some suspicious end, all within the first 10.
And that's what I was referring to. I following DC Born Rob. That number does sound right, about being over 30 people reported, and that's reported.
That in 2023, there were 32 foreigners that met some suspicious end, all within the first 10 months of the year, including 8 Americans in just 2 months. Listen, bro, if you want a girlfriend to speak Spanish, you can do this much safer in like New York, Texas, California, literally anywhere in the United States. There's no need to travel to a country where people get dismembered just because you want to go on a date. Yeah. Now, I got this idea when I saw these 2 pretty obscure kick streamers, and these idiots, first off, thank God they're still alive, but these guys paid 2 girls $68 and
this guy's face I remember because there's a video I did post. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this channel real quick. How many mentions I got? Okay, so that this guy right here
are officially the dumbest.
Yeah, it's them.
They got
it's happening
out here in Colombia.
Back in January. I know the girls who did it, they got caught. If you want to follow this page, it's at Mr. WW Travel, where I just repost travel content or travel memes.
Drink up, Bobby.
This is what happened to them. Let's get back into it.
Total to spend a night with them when they live streamed. They bought some alcohol and watched the girls pretend to drink it while they got drunk, and surprise, surprise, they got drugged and robbed. Who could have seen this coming? I mean, I'm sure they were blindsided by
the girls did it on live. They don't give a fuck. But they got caught, but they did it on live. Her face is right there.
Colombian prostitutes they paid $68 did something shady. These guys are actually some of the only ones to make it out. Prostitutes they paid $68 in this coming. I mean, I'm sure they were blindsided by the Colombian prostitutes they paid $68 did something shady. These guys are actually some of the only ones to make it out alive though, because that 32 tourists in 2023 turned to 39 tourists that died in 2024, and half of them were from the US. In 2024, a British news agency called Channel 4 interviewed a woman who wasn't named, but for all intents and purposes, we'll just call her Maria. Now, Maria says that she's been working with a local gang in Medellin since she was a kid, and that she's used a drug called scopolamine, also known as devil's breath, to sedate and rob tourists. And what this powder does is knock someone out very quickly, and is normally slipped into someone's drink, which is most likely what
it could be slipped into the drink. They could put it on between their breasts. They could put it on something and make you smell it. But the most popular way, the top 2, number 1 is the drink, and the second one is, I guess, putting it on the breast or the chest.
happened to those two streamers. Now, Maria seems to be kind of messed up in the head as she goes on to say that some of her victims may have even died after she put them to sleep. Like, she doesn't even know for sure. And it was reported that 80 tourists were killed in the past 3 years, but Maria claims the number is higher. But let's talk about Rui Garzon. Now, he was living as a comedian in Minnesota when he started making frequent trips to Colombia. And from these trips, he would post pictures of himself and a woman with red hair who he referred to as his girl, along with at least 2 other women. Now, the New York Post refers to all these women as his girlfriends, and he even picked up a bit of Spanish, according to his sister. And workers at the Korean restaurant this picture was taken from state that he and this woman had been there before. And this picture was taken about 2 months before his death. Now, in December 2023, he told his friends that he would be heading back to Medellin to meet with the woman he had been talking to online. And I assume either his friends didn't mention that this was a bad idea, or they did, but he was just too far gone to believe them. Now, on December 3rd, everything seemed to be going well as he filmed himself at a Karol G concert. His friends had lost contact with him until he called one of them and said that he had been kidnapped and his captors were asking.
The sectional director of Medellin's prosecutor's office, Yuri Melina Amalo, explained that on Sunday the 10th, he went out to meet with a woman who had been contacted by him, and at 7 p.m. he called a friend in the United States from his cell phone saying that they were asking for $2,000 for his release, 8 million Colombian pesos.
His friends had lost contact with him until he called one of them and said that he had been kidnapped and his captors were asking for $2,000 as ransom. Now, for some reason in Colombia, it was initially reported that the money had not been paid. And after asking for the money, they apparently took him to his apartment in Robledo, a neighborhood in Medellin, where he was beaten and robbed before they took him to a secluded area and threw him off a cliff. Now, his family did.
Oh my God.
Now, for some reason in Colombia, it was initially reported that the money had not been paid. And after asking for the money, they apparently took him to his apartment in Robledo, a neighborhood in Medellin.
Why she acting
Paid.
Like
and after asking for the money, they apparently took him to his apartment.
Why she like? Like she knows what's about to happen. Why is she doing that?
In Robledo, a neighborhood in Medellin, where he was beaten. For the money, they apparently took him to his apartment in Robledo.
Look at her face right there.
A neighborhood in Medellin where he was beaten and robbed before they took him to a secluded area and threw him off a cliff. Now, his family did, in fact, send the captors over $3,000, which was more than what they were asking for. And this is why you got to make sure you always check multiple sources. And this transaction is what helped lead authorities to the woman, Shari Gisela Meida, who I believe is the same woman from the pictures, although she lost the red hair and she was arrested. Multiple sources.
I was gonna pause it while they was eating. I was gonna say she don't look like you could trust her, and then you just oh my God, and they sent the motherfucking money. When the comedian was killed, his body was put with over a dozen stab wounds and blunt force trauma. So they stabbed him up too. They beat him up and stabbed him up, and then transported him and threw him, or they beat him up, transported him, stabbed him, and threw him. It's crazy.
And this transaction is what helped lead authorities to the
captors demanded thousands of dollars, and a friend in the U.S. reported CBS. Despite the friend's payment of $31, was taken to a wooded area, brutally beaten, and thrown off a cliff about 260. Identified owner of the PayPal account linked to the payment, attempted to flee her apartment when investigated. Arrived to question her. She tried to flee. Yo, if you know anything, I'm not a local, so what I'm saying may not really matter, but if you ever been in Colombia, it's one of those, or the Dominican Republic, it's one of those places where it's like, since you're not from it, you don't know how to flee, you don't know where to go. If anybody sees an American running around, they're gonna try to capture you or help whatever, or hurt you or harm you. But what I'm saying is, you know, all the uphills, all the different, you don't really know unless I guess you're from there. So yeah.
The woman, Shari Gisela Meida, who I believe is the same woman from the pictures, although she lost the red hair, and she was arrested along with 2 men and 1 teenage boy, who were all arrested and charged. And the woman actually ended up confessing and giving authorities details on what happened. And I don't know if y'all ever heard the story of Jay Rello.
Yo, I know this dude, yo. I don't know him, really know him, but like, if anybody here is familiar with the travel space, like the streamers of the travel space, This is one of them, and he's cool. He's a cool dude if you really get around some of the funny shit he be acting up on. But I want to see what he's saying, because not really do I see quote unquote mainstream or people outside of the space talking about Jay Rello. I see people talking about him to get into the space, but this dude, Trap University, he has his own niche in the YouTube corner, and he has a good amount of subscribers from what I've seen. So this is very interesting to see him, I guess, give more exposure to Jay Rello. But Jay Rello, it's really hard to find your Instagram, not your Instagram, your YouTube channel. It's like Scott Ensley, Lucas Daniel, I don't know, but whatever.
But he went a little viral around 2022 because he flew from the US to the Dominican Republic on something like a $700 budget, I believe. And when his flight was rescheduled, he was required to pay a $100 rescheduling fee, which he didn't have, so he ended up asking for donations on his live stream.
It's a $100 reschedule fee. Basically, I need a cash app, guys.
My brother, first of all, you can't even travel to most cities in the US for a week-long trip on less than $700. And the currency exchange in another country means nothing if you spend all your money every day. The man said he paid $50 to get into a party. He was taking care of a girl out there he was staying with, and he was also going out to eat 3 times a day. And by the end of it, he didn't even have $100. And he's been back multiple times, I believe, since being stranded. And hey man, this might not be worth it. Now, he didn't necessarily get set up, but he did say on the last day of one of his trips, a girl he was taking care of asked him for 3,000 pesos, also known as $50 US, but he told her he didn't have any money left. So she called security on him. Hey, first off, shout out to my Discord. Go join that if you haven't already. But I'ma tell y'all like I told them. You will live much longer and happier with one woman. And I know some of y'all will say, no, bro, you tripping. I ain't letting no female tie me down. Alright, bro. So just take half your check and set it aside every 2 weeks for some random females then. At least when I spend money on my wife, it's all going to the same place. And I ain't gotta wonder what she doing when I'm not around, because we always together. Ain't no way I'm going to Colombia or anywhere else and sharing some female with the whole community. I just don't like that. How many miles be on these women that y'all flying out the country to hang with, bro? And then on top of that, you will still die, even if you pay them all your money. At least I know there's a good chance my wife won't kill me, unless I keep forgetting to do stuff she asked me to do. She might actually kill me for that, but at least I'll see it coming, right? Everyone's not the same, but I guarantee there's a large portion of women in these foreign countries that prey on American men coming in without any intuition at all. And this is any foreign country. And then when you come in spending an average month,
If you're going for that, they know you're an easy target. There are literally markets or like groups formed to target American men. So you just got to keep that in mind.
Salary of some of these girls' fathers in one night, if she knows some gang members, you better believe you gonna get got. This is called traveling with ill intentions. And like anything you do with ill intentions,
I like to say also traveling on low vibrations.
a good chance it won't end well for you. It's bad enough we got guys going out to the club spending $300 trying to impress people. But when you're doing this out the country, it's a good portion of Americans that don't even know how to move around the major cities in their country safely, let alone moving around a foreign country safely. I don't even know how good the justice system is in Colombia, because I did a video about Colombia a little while back, and one time somebody just faked some paperwork and sent it to the jail, and they believed it and ended up letting a cartel leader's sister out of prison. And I don't know how many times stuff like this happens. As Americans, we might be a little too pampered. Even Canadians too, because some of the people included in all of these fatalities are
I don't know how long they stay in there, but what?
Canadian as well. If you need an excuse to travel around the world, there's
Is that
plenty.
a picture of her getting bailed out?
Americans, we might be a little too pampered. Even
Crazy.
bro, won't you go see the pyramids or something? Or go to Greece to, I don't know, look at the ocean? Do anything but this. Because when you die over there, you don't even know if there's a guarantee that your body is going to get flown back to the United States anyway. You could just go missing out there and not be found. All for what, man? I don't get it. Maybe that's because I was blessed to find someone, but hey, you can too, bro. Just don't do this, man. I made this video as a warning, so I don't know, heed the warning. Alright? Thanks for watching.